There's been quite a big buzz about the return of Gobblegums, the additional feature added to Black Ops 3 that gave many assorted gameplay modifiers. These things were incredibly popular back when they came out, and even more so as they added more throughout the DLC season. But as someone who's never liked these things, both in their functionality and principle, I want to tell you why I don't believe they will be nearly as loved as they were in Black Ops 3, as well as the popularity of the Gobblegum system as a whole. It's just a lie. First, let's take it back to Black Ops 3. I've already talked about this a bit in my video discussing the hit speed of the game and my issues with it, but there's a question that needs to be asked with this, and frankly anything that's added or changed to the mode. Why? Why is this being done? Whenever something is changed, we need to look at the reasoning behind it. For example, why was double tap changed to 2.0? Because it was a perk that many players didn't see the value in spending a perk slot on. Why were crawlers meant to bleed out in Black Ops 2? Because the devs didn't want the player running to one part of their giant new map and having the zombie never die unless the player killed them. Otherwise, rounds could accidentally last for a very long time. And the big question, why was the hit speed changed in BO3? Because this was never something that was a problem before. The pace of the game was always well balanced for the maps and enemies you fought. So why change it? The reasoning for it was to create an artificial difficulty spike. Because with it, the players were now more inclined to use the new Gobblegums that could alleviate the new difficulty. Haven't you ever wondered why there was only one new perk added in Black Ops 3? Why even though players asked for more, they only gave us Widow's Wine? It's because, I suspect, the devs realized how far they went with the hit speed change, and they created a band-aid solution to fix it. That being Widow's Wine. All of this, it all leads to the player spinning for Gobblegums. And with more and more overpowered gums being added over time, this led to more microtransactions being purchased. This was at the peak of the loot box problem in Call of Duty, and Activision wasn't about to let their third premier mode go untouched by this. Now, the next question is this. If the devs wanted more microtransactions purchased with this system, why is it that they never patched out the keeping your gums glitch? A glitch in where if the player closed the application before the game over screen appeared, they wouldn't lose any of their Gobblegums used in the match. With this, there's likely two answers. One, the bug was something that was built into the code of the game, and trying to either fix it or remove it would require a complete overhaul of the Gobblegum system itself. Or the more likely answer, they deliberately chose not to. Think about it. Black Ops 3 was one of the biggest games for the studio, for better or worse. Zombies was at an all-time high in popularity online. There's a reason Chronicles was the highest selling DLC for Call of Duty. Everyone was using these Gobblegums, and the devs, more than anything, didn't want to rock the boat and kill the momentum they had with this game. But here is where the entire system and its popularity is built upon a lie. With players being able to acquire gums that give them all the perks, allow them to nearly open every door on the map for free, pack-a-punch their weapons, keep themselves from having to deal with the consequences of going down, and even skip having to play the game altogether, and you give them the ability to never lose them if all they have to do is close the game, you've just broken something beyond repair. It's not the Gobblegums that players liked. It was the glitch they used to essentially have infinite of them. When you give the player a dominant strategy so broken they don't even have to be good at the game to win, then let them have a way to keep doing it forever, you have an entire player base that's skill at playing the game drops through the floor. And if you don't think this is a fact, just look at what happened in Black Ops 4. The Gobblegum system was barely altered, given a different name, and even allowed players to have 4 elixirs activated whenever they want. But do you know why nobody liked this system? Because there wasn't a glitch to keep them. So the BO3 crowd complained how weak they were when they only didn't have a game-breaking bug that let players abuse it. I'll make it no mystery about this. I hate Gobblegums for the fact that they're pay-to-win microtransactions to begin with, and the fact that they completely coddled an entire community of players, and the reasoning for them being introduced in the first place. With the removal of loot boxes following the big EA drama of 2017, Black Ops 4 would be the last Call of Duty to include them. With Modern Warfare 2019 going the route of seasons and this gunsmith operator route, they had a whole new way of monetizing the game. And Cold War's rush development didn't have any room for something like Gobblegums. Due to the fact that these overinflated bundles were making so much more money for Activision, they didn't even need to bother with any form of loot box microtransactions. So why now are Gobblegums returning? Because Call of Duty is getting desperate. Zombies is in one of the worst states it's ever been in. With the back-to-back of Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3 zombies, and the neglecting of players who actually liked zombies, the devs are desperate to get players back. And that's why you see them advertising 2 round-based maps at launch like it's something to brag about, ignoring the fact that Black Ops 1 did that 14 years ago, and Black Ops 4 launched with 4! Now we have their last Hail Mary attempt to win back the community. What's one thing they liked from the most popular game? Gobblegums! Not realizing that it was never these stupid broken candies that players liked, it was the stupid broken glitch they used to keep them forever. And you'll see, just like with BO4, the shallow players who can't get what they want right when they want it will complain, and this game's Gobblegum system will either fail or be called nowhere near as good as it once was. Not because of it actually being worse, but because there isn't a glitch that allows players to have the game play itself. And when you look at the reasoning for why Gobblegums were made, and you look at what game they're going to be added back into, it makes you wonder. BO3 was made artificially difficult to encourage players to use Gobblegums. But look at the last full Treyarch game. Cold War was one of the easiest and most boring zombie modes ever. There was no perk limit, every single weapon could do insane amounts of damage that you didn't even need wonder weapons to get to high rounds. The mechanics were made to make things accessible to all types of players, not just OG zombie fans. And when you have the devs about to add Gobblegums into that type of system, if the balance of the game wasn't already bad before, what on earth is going to happen come October when Black Ops 6 comes out? Time will only tell.